The Utah Jazz seem to be the prime target for the Lakers, and also the Lakers being the prime target for the Utah Jazz. Right now, they have ongoing discussions to try to work out a deal that would send Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz, and then a combination of these three on screen coming to the Lakers. Rudy Gay may be a part of that. Malik Beasley, he's another name that's been thrown out there as maybe coming to the Lakers. But one way or another, that's the most likely scenario to happen. But there are other options out there and other teams. Now, the Pacers, their asking price is way too high, but maybe they would come down if the Lakers end up lining up a deal with the Utah Jazz. They can kind of use that deal to leverage with the Pacers of like, hey, look, if you want to move off these guys and get something for them, either take this deal or we're going to go this deal over here. We'll give you the same thing that we're giving the Jazz for your guys, vice versa. Maybe you get that leverage play. Very likely, I don't think the Pacers are going to go down because they're not determined to trade these guys. Not just that, but they are under the salary floor, so they got to get some salary, although Westbrook could help in that area as well. But nonetheless, there are other options. There are other teams. The Spurs have been a team that's thrown out there, the Knicks. But another team that has recently been thrown out, and this is from an interview per The Heavy, is the Detroit Pistons. And here is what was said. I'd be willing to get involved if I were the Pistons, the executive said. I would want the 27th unprotected, take back Russell Westbrook, and send you all my veterans, all my junk. Right now, Detroit is taking the approach of just waiting, playing with the guys that they got from the New York Knicks, and trading during the season. That team needs to tank some more. They need Victor, or at least they need to be in the mix. Also continued, send back Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, Kelly Olynyk, and Kemba Walker. The Lakers would be doing a 1-for-4 deal there. So they'd have more guys around. You have some tradable contracts, and you'd have some veterans you can use for depth. I'd consider it on both sides. So this is what that executive relayed and what they thought. Now, this is what it looks like on the trade machine. This was also in that article as well, just to show that the money and the numbers do work, that the trade is something that can be done. All the returning players for the Lakers, about 48, close to 49 million, and then obviously Russell Westbrook's contract, and then you'd give up a first-round pick. Again, you're getting back a power forward, a center, a shooting guard, and a point guard, so you do get some depth. Although, there is a lot of questions with Nerlens Noel. Kelly Olynyk is pretty solid. He could be a solid backup for Anthony Davis, especially if Anthony Davis is missing some time. Kelly Olynyk can knock down the three ball. Alec Burks, get that sort of 3-and-D wing type player that the Lakers need. Although he's not huge in size and more of a shooting guard, but nonetheless, he could play the three. Solid 3-and-D guy. Kemba Walker, I'm not really big on that, if I'm being honest. Now, right off the bat, I don't see the Lakers ever taking this trade. And I know other people have thrown Detroit out there as well. Problem is, all of these guys, except for Kemba Walker, are on multi-year deals. And I just don't see the Lakers. The number one thing that they want more than anything is to preserve cap space. They want to preserve cap space in case Kyrie or somebody else wants to come. And this would all but destroy it. Plus, compared to the other trades, this is kind of junk. I mean, I'm not against what that executive said, about sending the junk. I mean, it is the junk. And I just don't see the Lakers doing this deal. But if you could get this and not have to give up any picks because you are unloading all of this junk and you are clearing salary space and helping the Detroit Pistons out to some degree. So if Detroit, for whatever reason, just wants to unload these guys and are hey, we just want to move these guys off our roster. You could buy Kemba out so that way you get the three and then that fills up your roster. Or you could keep Kemba, maybe, let go of Gabriel, something like that. I don't know. The options are there. I just think that this isn't a very good trade. And of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. But, I mean, the Jazz deal, I think, is the best deal that is at least currently in play and is the most likely scenario. I mean, if you could get Conley, Bogdanovich, and a Beasley, I know a lot of people want Gay, but the problem with Gay is that that's another multi-year contract, though he could opt out. I highly doubt he does. Because why would he forego $6 million when he's probably not going to get that much anywhere else? Unless, another team is willing to pay him and match that. Maybe you could convince maybe Gay to just opt out and maybe sign him for less. Be like, hey, we'll sign you if you opt out. We'll sign you not for that, but maybe we'll sign you for like $3 million a year, and give you like a multi-year deal, something like that. Maybe give you 2 or 3 years, so that way you at least have a contract for several years rather than that, and that's more than you'd get elsewhere. Maybe you could work out some hint, hint, wink, wink type deal. But again, Lakers want to preserve salary. They want to preserve cap space. And if you're taking on Mike Conley, you need at least a pick so you can move off of him. Because the beauty of Conley, at least, is the next season, his contract is only partially guaranteed at $14.5 million, $14 million, somewhere around there. So that is where the benefit lies. Like, a team would be willing to take on that salary, especially for one of those firsts, if for whatever reason Kyrie or another player wants to come, something along those lines. But I do still think Utah is the current best deal on the table in any shape or form, as well as, the most likely to happen. But diving into these guys, again, you move off Westbrook. I understand that. I understand that logic. But there is a such thing as a bad trade. Now, Nerlens Noel, he basically would be like your fourth big. He's just kind of like that insurance policy. Davis misses some games. And the beauty of like a guy like Thomas Bryant is Thomas Bryant can actually shoot the 3-ball. Damian Jones can shoot the 3-ball pretty well as well, but he just hasn't thrown up the amount of volume that you want from a big that is a 3-point shooter, quote unquote. Kelly Olynyk, like I said, he would be solid. I think he would fit in seamlessly. He's a guy that can pass, he can shoot, play a little defense. He's kind of that gritty player, that high energy player. So I do think Kelly Olynyk could be a nice fit. Alec Burke, you get that veteran 3-and-D guy. Again, not super high on him. If there was a right deal for Alec Burke, I wouldn't say no, but I just don't think that this is the right deal with Alec Burke. I've been a fan of his. I just don't think he moves the needle enough for the Lakers for the wing depth that they're really looking for. He is again small forward, shooting guard, but I don't know. I'm not. Maybe other people are big on him more than I am. But I've never really thought of him as like, oh, he is this lockdown guard. We have plenty of 6'6" guards. We need like a 6'8", 6'9" guy. Although we do have Wenyen Gabriel on the roster. Kemba, I don't know. I mean, Kemba's like one of those things. He's like the IT, right? Undersized guard, could score in bunches. If he's on, he's on. If he's not, he's not. And if he's not on, he's a huge liability on the court. And so I don't think that he's a guy that I would want, although it's just a 1-year deal. I don't really like this trade package, if I'm being honest. I don't think the Lakers would like this either, again, because you're taking on several players for multi-year salaries, although these are a lot of mid-tier contracts. So if a trade was to arise, like just throwing out an example here, but let's say the Nets implode and you need to get a Kyrie Irving. Maybe you can move some of those pieces, or say a Bradley Beal, or even like a mid-tier guy. Say some mid-tier guy wants to come that you actually think is pretty valuable, and you can maybe trade 1 or 2 of these guys to match like a $24, $25 million salary, and then unload a draft pick or something like that, or a couple seconds, or a pick swap or something. Something like that arises, then maybe, because that's the problem with the Lakers. The Lakers don't have a lot of tradable assets, like players-wise. I mean, they have a lot of great young talent and things like that, but all those guys are on basically just free deals. They're all on vet minimums and stuff like that. So, like, when it comes to having to do a trade, if a trade was to arise, I'm not saying one will, but I'm saying, like, let's say trade deadline, there is a deal that arises, it'd be really hard for the Lakers to get a deal done, because the only salary you would really have, like assuming the roster is, let's say you do this deal, you only have like Kendrick Nunn, if there's no deal involved. But if you get this, then you have like Alec Burke, you have Nolan Noels, you have a couple guys on like, $12 million contracts that just make things so much easier. I'm not really high on this deal. I would personally recommend the Lakers stay as far away from this deal as possible. Especially if you have to give up a pick. There is no way I'd give up a pick in this deal. just because you're getting a bunch of, like, they can be rotation guys, but they're not the high tier rotation guys. You know, there's like quality rotation guys. Like Mike Conley, I would take over all of these guys just because what Mike Conley brings. He brings that 3-and-D, 40% three-point shooter, can handle the ball, can play off the ball, veteran leader, not going to make a ton of mistakes. I just think his contract is terrible. Like, that's the only problem, is he's got that, 22, 23 million a year contract. But, something like this, they're smaller contracts, but I don't think any of these guys move the needle at all. I think if this is the only offer on the table, I think the Lakers are better off standing pat. But that's me personally, and as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you love this trade? Do you hate this trade? How do you feel about this trade? Do you think it's silly? Do you think it's not? Do you agree with me that, like, yeah, this is just not a very good trade? The Lakers get some depth. They'd be deep. They would legit be probably 15 players deep at that point. But there's good depth and then there's bad depth. And I just think that this is kind of bad depth. I don't think you're going to get too much from Nerlens Noel. I think Alec Burke, all we have on the roster are 6'4" to 6'6" guys that all do basically the same thing Alec Burke does. And then Kelly Olynyk, I think, would be the only real prize here that would add a different layer to this team that we don't have. But Kemba, I think, again, he's either having an amazing day or he's having a terrible day. But the goods aren't more valuable than the bads, if that makes sense. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below. Quick little shameless plug, everyone. If you enjoy my videos and commentary here on this channel, As It Stands Lakers, then check out the link down in the description below and go subscribe to As It Stands. Believe it or not, As It Stands was the first channel. If it wasn't for that channel, this channel would never have existed. Because of the success of that channel, it led me to want to create this Lakers channel. So do me a huge solid. If you're not subscribed over there, go check that out. Go subscribe over there. I talk all things sports, all teams, things like that, not just the Lakers. So if you just enjoy my commentary and want to hear me talk about other things, or you just, are a fan of other sports and other teams, go check that out. I promise you will not be disappointed. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.